AskReddit by Big Guy I. What do you think about religion? Serious. Attention, serious, tag notice. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted. https://www.reddit.com/r//wiki/wiki_rule_6- in any comment parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose $to =r AskReddit if you have any questions or concerns. Some of the best and worst people I've ever met have been into it. So pretty much like the rest of the world, I guess. Don't have any issues with religion itself, but rather people who force religion. My next door neighbor in the army was quite religious. He was the type that went to church 3 times a week. I drove everywhere with this dude for a year and a half and didn't have a single discussion about religion. That dude is my benchmark for how people should handle religion. Live it all you want, don't push it on others, and don't hold people to the same standards of how you do your religion. It's like a penis. You can be happy to have one and proud of it, but if you start whipping it out in public, we're going to have a problem. This is gold. I'm a part of one, and I totally get why a lot of people hate it and disagree with it. It's fine. Agreeing, disagreeing, loving and hating is all human nature. I'm not those kind of religious person. I like to keep it to myself. I don't like to spread it or making it my entire personality. I was content to keep religion to myself, but I felt like the really devout followers actually pushed me further away from religion because of how intense they were about it. If that is what true believer looks like, maybe I don't want to be one. I feel kind of stuck currently, not wanting to completely denounce my religion, but also not participating and not really having a reason to get back into it. I find it funny that everyone believes that their religion is the true religion, even though all the other religions claim the exact same thing they do, that their beliefs are the true one. How can you genuinely believe that your specific religion in your specific corner of the world out of all the hundreds of other religions in all the other corners of the world is somehow the correct one? Yup, that's why I stopped practicing. How could an all-loving and merciful God banish his creations to hell for eternity simply for not knowing the right religion? There are over 4,000 religions, so statistically speaking you have a 0.04% of picking the right one, if it even exists, of course. I'm not religious myself, though I'm not atheist, but my dad's a minister and I grew up going to church. A lot of people have used religion to better themselves. Yes. There are also the nutjob zealots, but they are a small minority. Most religious folks are some of the kindest people I've met. I'm not religious either, but I wanted to add to this. I would say the reason people can use it to better themselves is that religion creates community between followers, something severely lacking in modern society. Deleted. This is always how I phrase it. It's twofold: to not fear death, and the source of a moral compass. The second part is always the questionable one. Depending on the chosen sect, any misinterpretation of any religious text can seriously alter that outcome. It saves the rich from being massacred by the poor. Bonaparte. It controls the masses, at least back then. I grew up in a household that force-fed religion to me. I dutifully believed for 2.5 decades. Then I began to think for myself, and belief fell apart. Honestly, as an atheist, I pray and wish every day that I'm wrong. I just wish I could have true faith in one. Comments like this just make me think people only believe to make themselves feel better. After my mom died when I was just a teen, I spent years believing it was simply too hard to admit this young, beautiful, well-loved, wonderful young mother was just gone. I've watched and called a lot of deaths. I've not yet witnessed a single miracle. I've seen how quickly we start to decay. We have a real problem discussing and accepting our own death. I finally was free to let go of believing once I accepted to dust we shall return. We are born. We die. We decay. People die and we never see them again. That's hard to people to accept. Finding ways to honor my mother and involve her in my life every single day has given me the peace to know she lived, she died, she's gone and I won't see her again, and that's okay. I remember her. We have a lot of work to do with the process of dying and grief. Mankind has this problem, where it's not satisfied with having no explanation as an answer for its existence. If it accepts that proposal, it accepts having no practical reasons to go on. So to circumvent this problem, it picks a meaning and wrote a story to fit it to convey a message through the ages. This story has changed and been interpreted many different ways to suit the society and beliefs at the time of its use. Yeah, it's like they're stuck between the urge to find explanations to stuff and the lazy natters of the brain to bother conducting actual research, so they just come up with anything to fill the gap and terrify anyone who exposes them by making people believe that it's absolute truth and they'll go to hell if they disbelieved. As an American who has watched religion incestuously bind itself to some of the most noxious and monstrous people of the last 50 years, I think it's absolute poison. While I acknowledge that there are certainly good religious believers, they have not stepped up to even speak out against their fellow travelers who preach hate and a noxious brew of racism and misogyny. There are literally millions of Americans who share this toxic religious ideology, so they are not simply louder voices. I was forced to go to church every Sunday until I turned 18 and was forced to go to youth group every Wednesday too. When I turned 18 I stopped going to church, and I don't believe in the Bible. I believe in God, but not the Bible or church. I find many people use religion to do horrible things. Not religious at all. I personally need proof of something to believe in it, like a fair few people do. I'm not talking about what certain types of religious people consider to be proof, actual proof. I also don't have proof that it doesn't exist, obviously. To me, logic dictates that it doesn't though. That said, I absolutely love the subject of religion. I find so many aspects of it so interesting, and especially religious people's perspectives on it and their thoughts as to why it is real. I do respect people that do believe in some sort of deity too. Basically I'm rambling, but if it's not affecting me or being shoved down my throat as a factual thing that genuinely exists, I'm cool with it. Guy in town the other day was holding up a sign and shouting about masturbation and porn like there weren't kids about there, which kind of irked me a little. Haha. My opinion, it's a doozy, but here I go. First of all, most people don't use religion correctly, like at all. It's a avenue for inner peace, not a beating stick for others to fear and obey to Christianity and its many splintered interpretations. I think it's incredibly abusive to those who cannot live within the rubric it sets, and most of the time those in the positions of power abuse them. Also, I have a great deal of heated contempt towards those who say any morals I or others have is derived from religion. F off. I don't need a big invisible man in the sky to tell me right from wrong. I'll bear the weight of my good and bad actions on my own, thank you. Also, I think a lot of people don't seem to understand religion as governance. Both have the same mechanical goal: how best to manage people on large scale to continue society. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence. This is the realest thing I've read all day. I'm ex-Mormon. I believe in God, but I also believe that not everything in the Mormon church is true or right. God said, "Love one another." If that is true, I don't know why a lot of Mormons don't treat others right if they don't follow their beliefs, too. Mormons also don't have good sex ed. I wholeheartedly believe that you should love people, and only judge based on their actions. I will not preach to anyone saying believing in God is wrong. Love them no matter what religion they believe in, whether it be Catholicism or Islam, or atheism. Mormons are people. They are not better or worse than other people. They are simply people. Fine on paper, horribly practiced. My thoughts exactly. I've come to believe that religion is about control more than anything else. I find it very interesting. Longest running scam ever. Longest story series ever too. I'm fine with the idea of religion, but most modern ones enforce completely stupid ideas and rules which I don't see how anyone could agree with. I think it's a great way to manipulate a lot of people out of their money. It's a mental pacifier.